This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.
When I say these words, it's probably going to resonate with you. I'm sure you've heard this before and wondered about it, whether you align with it, whether you don't. You wonder about it, though, I'm sure. And here are the words. There are no coincidences. Nothing is random. I actually subscribe to that. I believe that there's a reason things happen. Sometimes we don't always know the reason. That's just me. But we're going to go to somebody who works with this, understands it, goes deeper, harnesses the power of energy, and helps a lot of people move their lives forward as a psychic soul healer. She is an amazing coach as well, and learned a lot from her. What makes her different is the coaching side, but also the intuitive understanding of energy side. And you got a beautiful blend right there. Heidi Meckley is back with us. How are you doing today?
Doing fantastic, Steve. Thank you for having me yet again.
Oh, thanks for being here. So I got to ask the question that's just begging to be asked. We were scheduled to be on today, but if nothing happens by coincidence, there are no coincidences. Is there a reason that we're together today? Whatever that reason is, I don't know. Why were we scheduled at this time on this day and we're back together again? I don't know. I'm thinking out loud.
Oh, that is definitely a loaded question. So that actually is strung back to what happened before we even started, right? 7 weeks ago. When it comes down to nothing is random and nothing's a coincidence. For showing up today, there's a reason, there's a purpose, there's somebody that needs to hear the message that we're going to be talking about today, right?
I was thinking the same thing.
And us being paired up together wasn't by happenstance, it was on purpose, right? This is the connection that's supposed to be made in order to get the message out in a way that people can understand, right? So there's so many times that I'll say something and then you reword it in a way that maybe some people just didn't understand how I said it and they understand how you said it. So it's a perfect marriage of the two to come together to be able to get the message out in a huge way through this radio broadcast, my tongue will work, in order to get to the people who need to hear it now.
I'm on your page with that. And there have been times, very often, very recently, I sit down and do a podcast with somebody like yourself, and they'll be saying things that aren't connecting right to me. Like, why are they talking about that? Are they reading my mind? I was dealing with maybe a situation or wondering about something. And now it's almost as if they're saying it to push me into a direction, like journaling. Yeah, I know I should be journaling. Today I was even, just about to do it, like, busy, gonna take my daughter to Starbucks, but even blah, blah, blah. Didn't do it. I know I should be doing it. I know it will be very impactful. And then every once in a while, somebody will say, well, you got to journal. Somebody like yourself on a podcast. And it's almost as if it's like poking the bear. Like, there you go again. There you go. Yeah. What are you waiting for? Do it again. Do it again. Why is nothing random?
Why is nothing random?
Why are there no coincidences?
Because our souls are here on a very specific path, a very, very specific journey. And if you're not following that journey in whatever it is that you are here for, things are going to start happening in your life. And especially if it's like lining up with things that you're thinking about, lining up with things that, just so happen to happen within the last day or so, that you hear something that's connected to it. It's because you need to pay attention to that because there's something you're missing. There's something that you're like, okay, I'm thinking about this, I'm getting this pull to do this. I don't know why. So I'm just going to poo-poo that because I'm going over here because the flesh side of me wants to do this. Well, your soul is continuously talking to you, as is God, source, energy, whatever you want to call it. in order to get you on your true path. The problem is most people don't listen. Just like this episode for Nothing is Random, I have had this up 3 different times that we were supposed to talk, and it got nixed for something else that needed to be discussed. So I have a whole list of the things that we were going to discuss through the whole series that we're together, right? But certain ones, I'm like, no, today, I'll even set it all up for one thing. And then in the morning I get here and I'm working on things. I'm like, nope, that's not the right one today. We need to talk about this. And it's because somebody needs to hear it so they can listen to their soul's path and start taking those steps.
Now, and I'm right there with you that this is for someone. It may even
Yes.
be for me, may even be for you. We don't know. But these things that happen, do you feel that there's a lesson there? It's happening to show you something. You're learning something.
Always, always. And the thing is, what people need to understand is we attract what helps us grow, even if it hurts sometimes, right? So even the things that are happening you are taking as bad in your life, you need to understand there's a message within that, right? And I know I used to be the one that every time I'd hear that, I'm like, yeah, right. Right. I was even one that would like, yeah, no, you're not telling me that this stuff's happening because no, it's true. And now that I fully understand it, I am able to understand that every single time that I'm going through something, that it's meant for me to learn so that one, I can grow, and two, I can better understand and guide those that come to me. Because as I go through things, then people come in for that exact thing.
Why does this whole
Just how it works.
process take so long sometimes? You could be going through a transition in life, it could take you years. Why isn't the lesson to be learned and there's it's and I believe it. Sometimes I don't want to, but I believe it that it's setting you on a path this way because that's the way you should be going. Unfortunately, you have to go through this other stuff over here to get over here. But this other stuff, like you said, can be painful, can be uncomfortable, and takes a while. If I, in my experience, let's go, but
Oh,
it doesn't.
trust me, I fully understand this because I didn't really accept or really talk about having my psychic gifts until like 4 years ago. And then I even called it an empath. So, and I'm like, well, why? I've had this all along and I've kind of used it, but why? But at the same time, I fully understand that I'm on a specific path and a journey, as others need to as well. Your soul's journey has been through many lives, and you may be carrying stuff with you that you need to heal from way back yonder, and you just don't realize it unless you start doing the work to understand the recurring seeming nightmare or recurring seeming vision that you constantly are getting that makes no sense to you at all, that you just can't get rid of. That could be a past life, past something that you're supposed to heal from in this time on earth so that you can then go to something different, not have these same recurring things happen over and over again. And when we really start looking into that, it's kind of mind-blowing. And again, back then I was like, this is BS, this no. Until you experience it. Let me just say this, the harder you are against what I just said, the more you need to actually do it, because I can guarantee that you have something from your past that is keeping you on a recurring cycle of the bad crap happening over and over and over again. It's up to you to take that step to make the change. Thanks to free will.
Deeper question coming. We should have like a little thing that pops up. Deeper question. Deeper question. Or maybe it should be deeper question. Would you say that these things that are around us that pop up and such, we already know we should be going in another direction? All these things that we hold on to and all this. We already know. Listen, I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to go into detail. There are things I need to change in my life that I sort of kind of hold on to. And I know why I do. And it took me a while to figure it out, but I already know. And I know what it's stealing my power. And I know it's getting in the way of ultimately things that I should achieve and deserve. I'm aware of them. And I don't want to admit it to myself. So my point here is that deep down inside, if you take some time, you do some searching, it's going to reveal itself, but you don't want to see it. And why? It goes back to what we always say, to your childhood, where you've got some traumas, big ones, little ones, and that's kind of making you hold on to it. Whether, no matter what it is, it doesn't matter. But do you feel that we know, if we search deep, we already know what it is?
To a degree, because there are some that block it so bad that
Mm.
they're like, I know something's wrong. I know it's within me, but I just can't put my finger on it. It's almost like the fear, even though you don't feel a fear, the fear or whatever it is got like a black wall up that is putting that back so you can't actually see it, feel it, bring it up, right? This is again, and it's funny you said that about journaling. Like, yeah, I was going to talk about journaling today again, as I do almost every session. Um, when you
Mm.
do the
And
journaling piece,
thanks for the slap in the face again.
it must be
Again,
done. But again, it doesn't have to be daily. Okay. To start with, just do it, right? When you're thinking about it, like, you know what? I'm just going to sit here and do this. And you're going to be amazed at what comes out. Okay. And you might do it for 2 or 3 days and then you might put it away for a week or so. Don't beat yourself up over that. You got to go, okay, when I feel the need, I need to journal, period.
mm,
There is a really, really good thing about journaling daily at a specific, morning or evening, whichever works for you. You've got to fit it into your day. You can't go by the miracle mornings and all the things. You've got to do what fits in your life for your time now.
Heidi, the
Okay.
reason I'm not doing it is I don't believe in it. Sorry. I love
Uh,
you, and but here's the thing. Here's the thing. You're right.
mhm.
I should be doing it, but there's a part of me that just says,
Oh,
"Bah, what difference is that going to make? I know I should be doing it. I'm telling you, like we said before, there's certain things but part of me is saying, is it really going to make that much of a difference?
well, then you're forcing my hand to do what I would do with a client and say, okay, straight up, the next week you are going to journal for an entire week, and when we meet next Thursday, you're going to tell me what the difference is.
I'm on that.
Okay, and I'm telling you, it is game changing when you do this. You're going to see patterns and things, and at first you're going to go in, it's like this is going to be stupid. But then you're going to say, okay, I'm not going to show up next. I can tell you exactly what the pattern is going to be. You're going to be like, I'm going to write because now she's challenged me on air. I got to do this, right? So I'm going to write. About halfway through, you're like, oh, I can't be just writing random stuff because what am I going to say come Thursday? I need to do this at least a little bit deeper for at least a few of them. And when you do that, and especially the day of when we go to meet next Thursday, you're going to have something hit.
And the things that I said before that I know are stealing my power and I'm allowing to get in my way. That's what
Write about it.
I'll be journaling about. I will. That's because
Exactly.
that's at the top of my mind, forefront. And then, then there's other things maybe not as important, et cetera, et cetera. Um, and it's not to say that I haven't journaled. Probably in the last week, ish, might have wrote a paragraph, here, there,
That's
and
fine.
not just fluff, like serious stuff. Like
Mhm.
even in a paragraph, it was pretty serious, right there. But I need to do it on a regular basis. But you said something a moment ago that was you journal even before, let's say you do a podcast, you journal, in all different times. Did I hear that right?
I do. Yes. I'm one of those scatterbrain ones that I have to do it when it feels right for me. So there'll be times like life
Hmm.
life gets in the way and you're like, crud, it's been a week and I haven't journaled. Okay. I've thought of it. Guess what? Now I got to do it. Okay. I might not do it this second, but I'll bring my journal out. I'll set it in a spot and say, okay, before the day's over, this has to happen. whether it's before a podcast, whether it's before whatever. It's when I'm led to journal, right? There are so many people out there, journal every morning. You got to get up, you got to do your hour worth of journaling. I'm like, okay, you're crazy. But if that works for them, then fantastic. You've got to do what works for you. If it's right before you, while you're having breakfast, while it's lunch, dinner, or before you go to bed, or just randomly through the day when you're like, oh yeah, I'm supposed to journal. It's when you think of it, you need to do it
That's you just
because there's
changed.
a reason for it.
You just changed it for me. There it is. There it is. I plan to do it in the morning. There's a little quieter time, like when you first wake up, but then again, you can get busy, etc. But it's almost a little forced because my mind's not there.
I'm not
But
ready for it.
doing it when you need it, it's almost as if like, phone a friend, that's kind of what you're doing. So I'm going to carry it with me. And I'm going to tell you here too, that part of me is a little fearful because it's personal stuff. So it's like, where do I keep it? What if I forget it? Somebody said, blah, 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 blah. All of that comes into play. I just need to let that go and just, keep it here, carry it with me out to the car. But that's even if it's two sentences when you need to, that's
Exactly.
when you need to.
Exactly. It
Hmm.
doesn't have to be page after page after page. Now, there are
Sure.
times I sit down and I'll write 5 to 10 pages. It all depends on what I feel I need to get on the paper, right? But I'm also journaling for twofold. I'm journaling for me, for diving into the things that I have going on currently, but I'm also journaling because I know I'm going to be turning this into some sort of memoir or thing
Hmm.
on my journey through being a psychic and all the things.
Cool.
Is all the heavy stuff going to be in the book? No. I mean, really, you got to have some things that are personal, right?
Sure.
But it's a way of keeping track of what changed in my life. And this is perfect for anybody that for journaling. And again, it doesn't have to be pretty. It doesn't have to be a whole paragraph. It can be messy, just bullet points like I'm angry at blah for blah, and then just bullet point stuff because not everybody wants to write down every little detail because you're afraid of somebody seeing it. So if you just bullet point some of the things so that you know when you read it, it's going to bring those thoughts right back, that's fine too, right? But I always tell people they need to have two journals. They need to have their one that is kind of deep in things, but not the angry stuff. You need to have a WTF. Yes, it means what you think, but it also can means what the focus. Because if you're angry, if you're having trouble, if you're mad at somebody, you're mad at yourself, whatever it is, you go to this WTF and you write everything out that you're thinking. Get it out. Don't sit with it and let it stew and creep in and do bad things to you. Get it out
Hmm.
and then burn it so nobody can find it.
But it's also symbolic of releasing it to the universe.
Exactly.
Hmm. So and thank you for that. I'm on that. I've got a homework assignment,
Yes.
as we all do. Back to nothing's random. What else do you want us to know about that?
You got to realize and start paying attention to the patterns and things that are coming into your life and into your view, whether it's you're seeing a specific animal all the time, you're seeing specific numbers all the time, you're seeing or hearing specific statements from people around you all the time. There's a reason for that. And one of the ones that I see, I happen to see deer all the time. I pulled it up over here on my other screen so I can read what it means. And this is all you do. You go to Google and you go, what's the spiritual meaning of seeing, for me, it's deer. What's the spiritual meaning of seeing deer? A deer sighting symbolizes new beginnings. It invites you to embrace change and recognize the beauty and renewal throughout life's journey. Spotting a deer strengthens your connection to intuition. It serves as a reminder to trust your inner voice for guidance on your path. Deer embody creativity.
Hmm.
Since we bought this property, the amount of deer that I see is insane. And this has been started since I got on my path for being a psychic soul healer. So, what is it you're missing in your life? There's a couple times that I had a ballywick of vultures, turkey vultures, suddenly show up in my trees. There's nothing dead on my property. They're like, I mean, we're like talking 10 to 12 of these things in my trees are surrounding my house. And I had to look that up. And there's a specific meaning for that. If you want to know that, go ahead and look that up. If it's crows, if it's cardinals, if it's because it's not always cardinals that is coming to you from a past loved one, right? There could be somebody that has passed recently that's trying to give you a message that you're ignoring, right? Which is why you're gonna get beat to death with this thing because it's constantly trying to tell you you're not on your path. There's something you need to know, and you're missing it, and it's right here in front of your face. Stop taking it as something random and a coincidence. Understand there's something more within the meeting. Look it up. And at first, you're not going to believe it, right? Because I already got from Steve that he's like, yeah, right, whatever. He's like, I'm going to look up a couple of these things. I'm not sure I'm going to believe it. That's okay. Keep doing it. And just understand that there's a shift coming when you're doing this. Because what you need to really understand with these constant repeats of things, whether it's things going bad, because things going bad is also trying to tell you something, especially if it's the same type of thing. It's telling you you didn't learn what you're supposed to learn, whether it's for yourself or to teach somebody else.
Mm.
And if you're one of those that said, I woulda, shoulda, woulda, coulda, you need to change that. I've had one crazy life, and there's not one flipping second I would change because, again, and I know I've said this on here before, and I will say it a million times over. If I change 1 millisecond of anything that happened in my life, I would not be sitting here right now talking to you, being with the people that I'm with now. And my life is freaking amazing. And what's about to happen in it is crazy. So I wouldn't change a thing. And even back then, when stuff was happening to me, everyone's like, well, what do you regret? What would you change? Wouldn't you want to do this differently? No, because it happened for a reason.
It's a hard pill to swallow, but I see what you're saying. And if you reverse engineer it, go here, now back a step, now back a step, now back.
Yes.
And then it starts, the pieces start to be obvious, but you have to accept them. You can't just say, because many of us, well, that shouldn't have happened. No, there's a reason. I mentioned this song before, and the universe is screaming at me to bring it up again. And I've always been a little bit deeper when it comes to music. Yes, the hits and everything. I played them on the radio forever, but I've gone deeper into album tracks, and it's always been my thing. There's a song from the 70s. It's an album track, wasn't a big hit. Part of the Plan, Dan Fogelberg. And oh my gosh, I normally I don't do this. I'm going to quickly read the lyrics. You'll see it'll crystallize what we're talking about here. I have these moments all steady and strong. I'm feeling so holy and humble. The next thing I know, I'm all worried and weak. I feel myself starting to crumble. The meanings get lost and the teachings get tossed. And you don't know what you're going to do next. You wait for the sun, but it never quite comes. By the way, this is an upbeat, folksy song. It's not like a serious song. Here we go. Some kind of message comes through to you. Some kind of message comes through, and it says to you, love when you can, cry when you have to, be who you must. It's a part of the plan. Await your arrival with simple survival, and one day we'll all understand. And one day we'll all understand. So I don't hear that. That's not a religious song or anything like that. To me, that's saying life can be great 1 minute. It can suck the next minute, but there's a reason for it. What's the reason? I don't know. One day we'll all understand. It's a part of the plan. Kind of says what we're talking about.
Exactly. And there's times that you will understand shortly after. It could be a few days, it could be a month, a year, right?
Yep.
All of a sudden, and you will know. There's no question without knowing, right? When you get the understanding, you will have the flashback to the problem. That's how you know you got the understanding.
Yep.
Okay. And you need to understand that it's the power to choose how you grow from these nudges, what you want to think is random or coincidence, or these problems. It's your power to grow. It's how you grow. And if you're not working to grow every single day, what are you doing?
It is when you flip the script and you pilot by, it's happening for you,
For you.
not to you. And I know that's like a cliche, but it really is true when you look at it. But if you look at it as if you're a student, you're taking a test, and somebody over here said, I got the answer. Here it is. And it's a sign, a thing that you think is a coincidence, but it's not. It's actually the test of life. It's throwing it to you. It's helping you, pilot forward. When you look at it that way, like it's a gift or somebody's, nudging you, tipping you off on something, it changes your view.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It can change everything in your life if you allow it. And you have the power to choose. It's a power of choice and a power of free will. What notes are you going to take from the randomness? What notes are you going to take from the stuff that happens right before you hit a goal? Because again, I have to say that one again. You've got to understand that every time you're getting close to the something big, it's going to feel like the world's crashing in on you. And I'm telling you, when you go, is that all you got? I'm going there anyway. It feels different. Everything will hit different. And you go from stress level up here to suddenly you're down here. It's like, okay, I got this. And then you can go through and it's a lot smoother going through than going, oh my God, everything's wrong. Everything's this, everything's that. Calm yourself, bring yourself to center and say, is this all you got? Because I'm getting there anyway. You will be blown away by what happens next.
I got you. And that's where the breathing comes in those moments where it's just like, so I say, take a deep breath. All right. It's almost like the reset button. Whoa, that just happened. Need a moment. Thank you for bringing this up today. But then again, I'm going to say this wasn't you. I'm just saying.
Nothing I do is me. Everything I do is from source,
I got
universe,
that.
God, however you want to say it.
Well, if it was anybody else, they wouldn't convey it in the way that you do it. And that's where the beauty and you come through. But what we do, that's out of our realm. That's just the way it's supposed to be. Nothing's random. Heidi, how do we connect with you? Somebody's challenged by all of this, maybe struggling through some things, want to look at things in a different way. How do they find you?
There's lots of different ways. We'll start with the email of info@HeidiMeckley.com. That's HEIDIM is a Mary, ECKLEY.com. And then there's HeidiMeckley.com, which is my website. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, TikTok, all just under my name, Heidi Meckley. And you can reach out that way, whatever's easiest for you. I'm pretty easy to reach.
Thank you so much for today. I must go because I have to journal.
Yes, you do. And I'm going to hold you to that. That's the first thing we're going to talk about next week.
And I'm really going to do it though, but I'm going to do it like we said, because that's the way I need to do it. I didn't see it another way until you said it. Thank you. Looking forward next time we get together.
Thank you, Steve. You have a great day.
You too.
This is the Global Podcast Network, where executives and professionals connect, share, and inspire. Stay tuned for the conversations that drive success.